she's speaking to someone else that is in the same situation as I am. And she was thinking if we could have three people doing joint venture partnership together.
I think we could do something here. Have a meet her now. So how you're gonna form the partnership, right? So one thing you want to understand when you're having the meeting with them individually, or maybe yes, individual, I would say in this case, there are a few things you want to look at when it comes to joint venture partnership. One, you want to look at the roles and responsibility, right? What is your role? What is your responsibility, and what's their role and responsibility? Apologies, I couldn't call back. Wednesday, Thursday was chock-a-block, but now I'm all yours, and let's go through this together. And tell me, what are your thoughts about the people that you've spoken to? Yeah, and also we can then also go through on how you could form that relationship with them.
Thank you so very much.
Right.
So, like I said yesterday, I've been able to, I'm speaking with three people, Francis, Zainab, and Christiana that I recently started talking with. So with Zainab, we do have a lot of things that like in common.
Yeah.
But the thing I observed is Zainab is also a nurse like I am, but she's a mental health nurse, and she seems just as busy as I am.
Okay.
So a lot of times we sort of have to schedule our meeting for like in a week's time, because probably when I'm off, she's like working, and then we have to sort of find a common ground.
Yeah.
So that's why it's taking a bit of time, and I don't want it to be too slow. But obviously she's quite busy as I am.
Okay.
So I was considering if at this stage of time, I mean, she's like working quite a lot. I think she works like a week, and then she gets like maybe a few days off, and then a week again. So I was considering that as well. I mean, we are both quite busy, so I don't know how that would impact the joint venture partnership.
Okay.
And for Francis, so I was supposed to speak with Francis on Saturday as well, like a Zoom call, but like I said, I was quite unwell. So when the last time I spoke with Francis, he clearly stated that he's got like quite a few HMO and rental service accommodations, and that the next thing for his company is that they are looking to buy properties, like to own properties and buy it as theirs. So I did ask him, because I was like, how is that going to work out for me, for someone who is just starting and clearly looking into rental service accommodations and HMOs. So he was saying something about, we could still do HMOs rental service, because I told him with the way he said, like what he stated, with the way he talked, it seems like I don't know, but it seems like there's like a huge gap, like a huge difference, like the point he is and where I'm starting from, and what he's aiming for. What he's aiming for, rather. So I'm just looking to kickstart off with HMOs and rental service accommodations.
Okay.
And he's sort of looking forward to buying and owning properties.
Yeah.
You know, because I did ask him to clarify when he meant owning properties, if he meant like solely buying, or if he was talking about service accommodations as well. And he was like, buying accommodations. Though it was still like we could still find a common ground. So that's that about Francis. And Christiana was also, she sounded quite enthusiastic, to be honest. She was saying something about she's speaking to someone else that is in the same situation as I am. And she was thinking if we could have three people doing joint venture partnership together. Initially, I declined, because I was just basically looking for one person to work with. But then I slept on it, and I was thinking, could it work out if you have three people in a joint venture partnership? So I am actually a bit confused at this point, because I mean, it's like I have like different things about different people. That's why I said I'll speak with you, because it's taking a bit of time. I want to sort of hasten this up as well.
Okay. So yeah, thanks then. I think what you've just explained there, it's a distinct identity of different people. let's start from the beginning. You talked about Christine. You talked about Zainab first, right?
Yeah.
So you are very similar. She's a nurse. You are a nurse. You're both ridiculously busy, right?
Yeah.
And what you want to think about there is how can you both work in a way that it is beneficial for both parties, in essence, to make sure one of you is available to do whatever you've agreed to do.
Yeah.
And because what you don't want is to have a partner that is very busy and you're very busy and work is not done. Is that making sense? So you want to kind of look for someone who would complement whatever you are doing. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
So that's the case. So in that case, then you could ask Zainab here in this case to say, okay, are you looking to stay in your job? That's one thing you want to ask. Or are you quitting your job to go into this full time, or to look after your family whilst you go into property full time? You could ask that question because situation changes. Perhaps she's only in it now for a short term and she'll be going into property full time. If that's the case, brilliant. Okay? That's what you want to ask there. And also you know what you need as well, right? If you can provide that, brilliant. So that's what you want to do. It's not a one-time conversation, but it's a multiple of conversation to understand that person's point of view or where they're coming from, to see if that complement what you intend to do. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Right. That's what you could do about her, and understand what she's gonna bring in, which I'm gonna talk to you about all of them anyways. The second person was Francis, right? You said Francis got multiple of HMOs. He also has rental essays, but now he wants to start buying. Yes?
Yes.
He wants to start buying properties. So again, you want to understand. You want to ask him at that point. I understand you want to buy properties. Are you still willing to partner on a serviced accommodation deal or rent to serviced accommodation deal, right? And at that point, you're going to ask yourself, do I have money to bring in so we can buy assets together? I.e. buy them, flip them, or buy them, keep them. Okay, that's what you want to do. It doesn't mean because he's so far ahead of you, right? He may not be able to form a partnership with you, right? And this is where you also need to think about, what do I bring onto the table? You know what you need most of the people for, aren't you? Right? So basically, you can say, okay, so can he just be the person that provides me what I need? Maybe with not 50-50 partnership. Because I'm doing all the legwork, I'm doing all the investment, I'm doing all the other stuff that I need to do. Is that making sense? So that's where you want to learn about that person. Okay? He may say, okay, now, I haven't got lots of money to invest in service accommodation or HMOs right now. I'm looking to buy properties. However, then you can then propose. Right? So how about if you can do a company and everything in your, whatever you are, I want to agree with him, then we go into this partnership. That could be a second option. Okay? What you could work with him on. And then also for Christine, by the look of it, by the way you've explained, Christine may be your most compatible. The reason being because she's not as busy as everybody, and she's not far away from where Francis is, for example. So she's kind of in your alleyway, right? She might be the most likely on the face value, right? So what you now wanted, okay, now, Christine, I think we could do something here. Have a meeting with her. Now, that then takes us to how you're going to form the partnership, right? So one thing you want to understand when you're having the meeting with them individually, or maybe, yes, individual, I would say in this case, there are a few things you want to look at when it comes to joint venture partnership. One, you want to look at the roles and responsibility, right? What is your role? What is your responsibility? And what's their role and responsibility? Because you want to know. Perhaps they only want to bring in money. Perhaps they just want to register the business and they leave it with it. Perhaps they also want to work together with you to build that. So you need to distinct the responsibility. Everybody needs to know where they are. Okay?
Okay.
So once you've done that, the second thing you want to talk about there now is profit, right? How much profit you're aiming to make, right? And also, right, How often do you share the profit? Okay, very important. It could be probably 6-7 months. The longer the time you share the profit, the better for the business, because some people want their profit straight away, right? If that person want their profit straight away, maybe they're not a partner for you, right? Because you want to look for long-term thing. You want to get the profit, reinvest it, either in repairing, maintaining the property, or acquiring more properties. Is that making sense? Right? So that's what you want to be thinking about. Okay? Is that person willing and able to work with you on that basis? Okay? But before you even talk about the profit, after the roles and responsibility, you want to think about how much are they bringing in terms of money, finances. Are they bringing in finances? How much are they bringing in? And how much are you bringing in? Is that making sense? So you determine that. Once you've determined that, you look at your roles and responsibility, then you dive into the profit I've just talked about, right? Which is how much percentage each person gets, for example, based on their roles and responsibility and the money they bring in, if they have money. Okay? And then how often do we share the profit, right? Is it 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Or are we going to organically reinvest to build the portfolio? In year 2, we start taking in profit. Or in year 3 or in year 1, taking in profit. Okay? But you're going to say at that point, however, okay, any expenses incurred, for example, you go viewing properties, right? It costs you money to buy the ticket or petrol. That can be deducted from the business. Okay. Anyone who does that, that can be deducted as an expense. Right? But when it comes to profit, right, you want to hold on to that for now so you can invest in the business organically to grow it. Right? So that way it is good for everybody. Right? So you determine that. How much, how often, and at what stage you could start sharing. And the next thing you want to look at is eventualities. Right? What happened if this happened? For example, in a situation where you're not making profit yet, right? How much are you going to share in terms of keeping the property going? I'm talking about loss here, right? Because sometimes when you got a property, you won't be able to rent it straight away, right? Even if you rent it straight away, you may not be able to make enough money to pay your bills and your rent, okay? You want to talk about how are you going to share that? Is this making sense? Because this is very important, right? If you want, you could write this down. How often do you share the loss? Suppose the property is up and running now, you're not making any profit. What percentage each person would share to keep the property going, be able to pay your mortgage or your rent to your landlord if it's a rent-to-rent property deal? Okay? That needs to be written in black and white. Okay? So everybody understands that. If we're not making profit, this is what's going to happen. Okay? Now, after that, you're going to talk about access, okay? What access do partners need to know where the business is going? Because it's very important, especially if you're doing service accommodation. Everybody needs to have access to the platform. So everybody see where the expenses, where the money is coming from as well. Okay? Very important. I've seen someone having problem with that, right? One party was reluctant to give the other party access. So it becomes a nightmare. You don't want that. You have to tell them, we're all equal, we all can see everything. When it comes to the expenses now, I'm going to digress on that a little bit. So you've got your council tax to pay. You've got your electricity, you've got your gas, you've got these utility bills, right? You want to understand that, where is that going to come from? Are we going to create a business account and put a pot of money in there for all these expenses? Right? And it will come at a time where probably you want to kind of know whose name is going to be on the bills, for example. Right? Is it the company name? Is it individual names? You get council tax, I get electricity, he get gas. However, you want to kind of determine that as well. Right? But obviously, if you form a company, you because you're both in the company or they are in the company, right? You want to put it on the company name. But if that's not the case, you can put on the individual names if you wanted to. You have to kind of determine that. But this is not going to happen in one phone call, for example. But that's what you could think about. Okay. The next thing you're gonna think about is what happened if you got ill, or if you're not available. Who is the next person in your family or your friends that someone can contact to share profit in most cases, or stuff like that? Okay. You have to talk about, okay, if Temi wants to exit, what are the consequences? Right? You have to put that in. Suppose you wanna quit. Right? You can say, okay, if you quit within the next 3 years, you've lost all your investment, for example. Or if you quit within a year, you've lost the investment. Anything after 2 years, 3 years, you get a portion. Right? You can bring that in, because some people will change their mind halfway and demanding their own investment. So that needs to be there. When you're in, until this time period, if you leave, you don't get anything. Okay? That's another eventuality that you want to bring in, depending what you've agreed on. Okay? And the other thing you want to talk about there is decision making. You can all make the decision, but when it comes to pressing decision where you cannot get hold of partner A and B or partner B, who makes the decision? Right? You need to say that, because sometimes you get opportunities that you need to make a decision. You might not get your partner for like 10 or maybe 15 or 12 hours, and you don't want to lose that opportunity. Is that making sense? So who's make that decision? You can also find out that way. So all that is in a piece of paper, right? So you're going to write all these eventualities in there, and you talk about time, who's going to give more time, right? Who's going to give more money, and who's got better skills in whatever you're doing. So you bring all that together in a piece of paper. That then becomes your agreement. So what you then do, you incorporate that data into the joint venture partnership agreement template we have. Right? That then become your contract. Right? So you've got rules to follow, how much everybody's bringing in, who's making the decision, where this thing is. So when you start, nobody got any other question to kind of, oh, I did not discuss that, or I did not do that. That's why you don't want to do it in a haste or in a rush. Okay? Talk to them all individually. See then who is more compatible with you. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right? Whoever is compatible with you the most, ideally, is the person that you want to work with. Because it will give you lesser pain, lesser issues, and lesser problems. Okay? That's what I would advise you to kind of think about when you're having a meeting with them. You kind of understand who you want to be. Go back and ask them all these questions I've just asked you previously at the beginning of the call. See then what they are. Maybe that person is busy right now. They may be available in about 2-3 months' time, or about a month's time. Right? Maybe that person is. But don't get someone where your skills are duplicated. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right? You want to find someone that have complementary opposing skills, because that way then you work really well. I've got 2 investors. They are very good with that. They are joint venture partners. In our last event, they were able to partner. Literally, they complement each other so well. Okay? It's going so smooth. They've secured their property in Birmingham. They've done it really, really nice. And we set that up, when was it? Yesterday. We finished doing everything. So it's amazing, because when I talk to them, I can see the opposing skills. And it's working really, really well. That's what you wanna think about. But they're all potential partners. Okay? And the other thing I wanted to add there is, do you want to have a 3-people partnership or 2-people partnership? That also you want to think about. If you think you got 2 people can do both the partnership, it could be a good way. But if you think the third person maybe we don't need, maybe you can do 2 joint venture partnership there. Okay. Right. Any questions?
No. Thank you so very much.
Right. Okay. That's fine. So let me know if if you agree with anybody, right? If you want us all to have a Zoom meeting together, we can have once you've kind of agree where you are, we can have a Zoom meeting. You can advise them, both parties, go through everything again, make sure you're all okay before you sign the papers, and then obviously then you become partners. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thanks very much, and good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Now, that's how you form joint venture partnership. It's not about rushing. It's not about pushing yourself to do it. It's all about determine how you want to form the joint venture partnership, having the vision to where you want to be, and see if that person have similar vision and complementary opposing skills in order to form that nice, amazing partnership. I really hope this video has been helpful. It's been helpful. Smash that subscribe button so you can learn more about investment, property investment, personal development, and how you can gain financial freedom. And by the way, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, because we've realized 51% of the people that are watching our content have not subscribed to our channel. So please, if you love this sort of content, if you think this is giving you literally good ideas, please hit that subscribe button, share it with friends and family. And if you have any questions regarding joint venture partnership, or you wanted me to do a video on a topic or something that you really wanted an answer to, comment on this video. I would love to hear what you're going to say. I personally read all the comments and I reply to them myself. And guess what? I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you. I really hope this video has been helpful. If this video has been helpful, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing next video. Thank you.